Ah yes, CHS, waking up every morning at 6 a.m. for another bright day. Wait, that's not true? Huh, well that's interesting.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Since about the start of 2020, school connectedness and the environment here at CHS has been on a steady decline. And while it's mostly attributed to COVID, this isn't just a CHS issue. Schools across the US are dealing with the exact same situation. So if this is a nationwide issue, why isn't there anything being done about it? Well, firstly, the main reason nothing has been done is because students' say on the matter is literally non-existent. I mean this as in staff and teachers believe they can solve the issue without consulting or asking for students' opinions. If staff implement solutions without consulting students, then in the process they make students feel left out and unheard. Side note, it doesn't have to be a fix or solution by staff, it's just a general problem. Teachers and staff think they know the best for us. In the process, they also make us feel ignored and unheard. And while that might be a main issue nationwide, our school, in the middle of nowhere, is no exception to that. One of the key ideas mentioned in Community Matters, which is a guide of how to make a school environment more positive, mentions a school climate is best influenced by the following: the way school staff relate to each other and to students, classroom management, and building and strengthening relationships with students, and etc. And while it doesn't directly say, the main idea is for staff to be more open and friendly. If teachers and staff are more open and transparent about changes or issues, students will feel as if the school climate is more open and friendlier. Furthermore, if staff were to be more transparent, it will build a sense of trust and community here at CHS. However, that's only one issue. When we took the Nevada Ready survey back in December, results actually revealed another problem: student and teacher relations. A surprising 49% of students disagreed with the question, "Teachers understand my problems." 51% of the school agreed with the question, but while it may seem that many students believe that the question is accurate, 49% of the school is almost half of the school. However, while this issue is sort of covered in the first part of the video, it deserves an entire topic to itself. And since 49% of the school is a huge statement, we wanted to find out why students felt that teachers don't understand them.
Basically, welcoming every kid into the class, talking to them, getting to know them, letting them know that they are wanted there, and, that they can do the work. So, just being aware of those things can make someone feel welcome.
Sometimes with students with IEPs, teachers don't tend to actually think about what their IEP is and why they actually support their IEP.
Well, every teacher I have right now has made the classroom feel like a welcoming atmosphere, and they're just very genuine, and I think that needs to be the thing at the whole school.
And while the answers are very scattered all over the place and they differ from person to person, it does reveal a huge message. And while it sort of relates with the first half of the video, it just reveals that teachers aren't welcoming or they're not very friendly. And if teachers aren't friendly or have an unwelcome vibe in their class, it just makes students feel inferior and not want to attend the class. This is what the books call emotions affecting the learning. And while emotions are supposed to be discussed in homeroom, well, that's another topic for another video. The Annenberg Learner actually points out a very key point that teachers need to understand here at CHS. And the key point? Well, emotions affect our learning. For example, if a student's had a very rough day and nobody's really talked to them about it, and a teacher keeps pressing them to do their work, well, of course, they're going to be a little grouchy and a little bit mad at the teacher. Instead of the teacher pressing the student for work, they should talk to the student and find out what's wrong. This would build a little bit of trust and a little bit of relationship between the student and the teacher. Furthermore, just like how homeroom is trying to make an emotionally safe learning environment, this would make every other classroom the same thing. And it's been shown in multiple studies that if students have a meaningful relationship with their teachers, they're more likely to succeed in their class and have better grades. And this all perfectly ties into the beginning of the video, the school environment. You see, if students had meaningful conversations with their teachers, meaningful connections, and etc., students would feel connected with their teachers, and most importantly, they would think of them as friends. If students weren't left out of important decisions the staff were making, well, students would feel like they have a say and that this was also a part of their decision too. However, we can't focus this whole video about what students think and what should be done to make the students feel better. We should also focus on the teacher side of it. Because if we truly want to make a better school environment and a better school connection with all of us in general, we have to focus on both sides. It can't just be one-sided.
Teachers, they're just here to give us headaches. No, I'm just playing. But honestly, teachers are the people to teach us and help us get through things. Although teachers and staff may think they are doing what's best for us, they may not be always right. At the beginning of the school year, CHS implemented Homeroom, a class to help students build connections with their peers and feel emotionally supported. And by now, we've known how that's going. Here are what some teachers think about Homeroom.
This year, we instituted Homeroom, and I think that goes a long way for both students and for teachers to learn how to communicate with one another and how to just recognize one another just as humans. And it gives an opportunity for the students to have a small group where they have every student should have at least one adult on campus that they can go to for questions or help or support. And hopefully Homeroom is one way we can do that, improve those connections.
I think Homeroom helps the small group of kids that I have in that class get to know each other a little bit better and get to know me a little bit better. I know that I'm a resource for them if anything should come up and they need help or anything like that. I don't know that Homeroom is widely accepted or loved, but I do think it's a step in the right direction, and I think that it's helping us build relationships with our students and hopefully helping build some different respect levels around the school.
Homeroom can go a long way to help students, but there are a few things that can be fixed. Along with what has been said, the relationships between student and teachers have declined tremendously. How can any student learn if they don't feel connected? The Nevada School Climate Social Emotional Learning Survey states that students who have supportive relationships at school and students who feel connected to their school are more likely to succeed. They have better attendance, grades, test scores, and persistence in school. Not only will the relationships between students and teachers help students academically, but they will help the school environment. Hear what some teachers had to say about that.
The relationship between students and teachers.
Oh goodness. I think that, the school's making an effort with the SEL stuff and trying to figure out the best ways to do that. I think for me, the best way to do that would be to have the state reduce class sizes, because I feel like I joke, but during our hybrid, when we had 15 students per class, at least in a studio art class, having 15 students was really nice. So it just allows that relationship to be built between teachers and students. So I think that would be the most logical solution, is that, classes around 15 to 20 students is the most ideal, because you can really build relationships with students that way. With 30, I get 3 minutes per student per class in a block period if I add it all up. So
You're good.
Currently, what do you believe that school needs to fix that would boost the school environment?
That's a tall order. Recently we had the homeroom assignment about respect, and I think that a lot of staff and students don't feel that they're respected. It's kids, saying and doing things that feel super disrespectful. We get calls from parents sometimes that are really harsh and don't take into account how hard we're all working. I think admin too. I worked at a school once where the principal a couple times a year just walked in and patted me on the back and said, "Thank you for what you're doing. I see how much you do above and beyond, and I appreciate it." That meant the world to me, and just kind of letting people know that you appreciate them at all levels. I mean, letting the kids that are great in your class say, "I appreciate you. You help with the conversations in class," or, just that mutual respect and care for each other would go a long way, to making the school better.
Having a positive and welcoming environment would help students and teachers a lot. First, CHS could reduce class sizes to make students and teachers' relationships better. Second, before making changes, find out what students feel about that change. Do surveys and talk to students. Make them feel a part of CHS. Third, both students and teachers should try to always have a positive attitude. Everyone has those days, but a simple greeting can go a long way.